Alright guys, it's me Stark. What happens when players are fighting for the top 1 spot on the ranked ladder? Right now we can see Hera at the rank number 1 with more than 3k elo against Lucho, top 4 with 2k8 elo. So yeah, 200 elo difference from top 4 and top 1 here. Here is just doing something very incredible here. Losing a game will actually cost him like more than 20 points, and if Lucho wins, he will just, and if Lucho loses, he would just lose like, I don't know, 2 to 5 points, something like that. So that's basically very interesting to see, despite their levels being not so different. We do have an Arabia here. Hero has started by readily scouting his map using the ship. He has already spotted his neutral deers and he is luring them. Meanwhile, he has done a meal start, so he is starting here by eating the hares by milling them with 3 veals. So a very food approach here. This will actually allow him to go for a very aggressive uptime. Against his opponent Lucho, who's playing as the Cumans. Cumans, that you guys know, one of the biggest plays of them is going for a secondary TC boom. I don't know about Lucho's map, seems like not so big woods, not so easy to wall. Honestly, I think that these civilizations are map dependent. If you have a map where you can clearly go for big walls, this is good. And Lucho is actually going for a wood opening here, milling here the berries, and also he has spotted the extra deers. So yeah guys, going for the neutral or extra deers on the chicken map seems to be meta. So both players are going for it. Hero is now getting the boars. He is about to drop now his lumber camp since he went for, oh my goodness, this tiny line of no trees is just insanely bad. This wood line is not gonna age so well, man, damn it. Very unlucky for him. Anyway, let's see. Both players are about to click up. I would say that both are going to click around 19 population. 19 population for both players going for the loom, and both players are going to click up. So we have mirrored Dark Ages with a small difference here. For example, here we're going for the hares, while Lucho was actually going for the berries. Well, he will be able to still eating the berries using this meal for a while Hero will have to reinvest here into a second meal if he does want to have access to the new berries here. So let's see how Lucho will play that. Lucho is going for a barracks. Hero is going for 4 forward villagers, so he does want to play Revi into Skirmishers, which are obviously one of the biggest strengths from the Byzantines. He did spot a lion who was easily killed, and Lucho is aware. I think that this takes out a lot of the efficiency from the strategy, because if Lucho didn't know that he was up against a Skirmisher rush, he would just open like scouts and try to counter raid Hera, and then he could get surprised by like 2 spearmen, 2 skirmishers, and a tower going on and taking out one of his resources. But since he's aware of what Hera is doing, Lucho has enough time to prepare himself, to add for example an archer range instead of a stable to defend himself, and then just add a tower if he does need to keep this position safe. But honestly, just with buildings and surrounding the berries, I think that he can just finish off doing that. There comes Hero for a tower. Yeah, man. And Lucho is trying to counterattack by going for a defensive tower and a view fight. Honestly, I'm a biggest advocate of the defender's advantage. That's basically the theory that if both players drop towers up, the one that's going for a more defensive tower will have the leverage for a very simple reason. He will have villagers to use to help himself to get down the enemy tower. Lucho could, for example, keep 5 villagers on his tower shooting and 5 more to kill the enemy tower, while Hero would only have like 4 villagers there. And of course, even if the villagers got injured, he could keep replacing the villagers from healthy ones to keep fighting with deals. So very good defense by Lucho, very good reaction. Hero canceled the tower, Lucho immediately canceled his tower as well, because what if Hero tries to drop like a new tower there? Lucho can still delete his tower and build it in a better spot. So that's basically the idea. And there comes Hero trying to get the tower down in another spot. We are just predicting their moves, guys. And Lucho is answering by attacking, and Hero deletes it. So he's just basically trying to force a mistake. Both players are also trying to hit each other using skirmishers. Lucho has a 1 HP scout, is still getting some value out of this guy. He finally goes down. Now Hero is trying to overwhelm his opponent with extra skirmishers since they are cheaper. And meanwhile, he is just going for the most basic economy ever on his base. So both players going ready for the skirmisher. There comes Hero for another attempt to drop the tower. There comes Lucho once again with the views, and Hera deletes the gives up on the tower once again, guys. He'll probably just delete this foundation, huh? And there he comes, yeah. No, he's actually making it. Damn, interesting. he's actually trying to take down the views. He's just controlling their HP. Both players are very skilled here. We can barely see skirmishers dying here. They're just walking and shooting, walking and shooting. This is not Age of Empires. This is an FPS game with spears, guys. Damn, the tower goes up, but as I said, Lucho is doing a very good job here defending. Hero is trying to snipe the villagers, but he doesn't seem to have enough skirmishers to do that. Hero is repairing and trying to shoot down the enemy vehicles, but he's almost out of stone. Alright, he's he's out of stone now. The tower will go down because he cannot keep repairing, but he did kill one villager in the process, about to kill the second. See, he did kill 2 villagers in the process, so not a bad start here for him. And on top of that, playing skirmishers is actually a good plan for the Byzantine. Here is now going for the fletching. He's still trying to fight here using both villagers and his own skirmishers. He's just trying to keep the heal for himself. Damn. Not a bad fight, huh? I don't know. I don't know. The game looks pretty even, but honestly Lucho is doing such a good job. As you can see, he has already added a stable, which is cheaper for the Cumans, so this means that he can start adding scouts to his army composition, and his opponent is playing here with farms. By messing up farms, Lucho is just setting up to have a good feudal age economy, while Hera, well, he's a bit behind. Now he has started to farm heavily. He's trying to drop extra houses. He's almost out of food here on the mill, so he will be very reliant here on those farms, and his villagers are forced back. Well, he did lose no view, but he had a lot of idle time, and Lucho did buy enough time to protect himself and start messing up scouts. Honestly, with scouts, with something like a single scout, Lucho can already do a big damage here to the skirmishers from Hera, which he will obviously need to start adding up spearman. I don't know if he saw the stable. Yeah, he saw, because he is already adding the stables. A single spearman has no chance at all here. Hero will have to buy time to at least have a secondary one. Damn, this looks bad for him. All that Lucho needs to do now, guys, is try to snipe these spearmen while trying to keep his skirmishers alive. And this army composition looks a lot better for Lucho, to be honest. I think that as long as Hera doesn't have enough spearmen to be able to fight, he will just have to keep running and buying time. There comes the spearman. It seems like an easy target. There comes back the scout. I don't know how he's gonna play that. This is such a cautious game. You have to be very cautious here. The scouts are dealing severe damage here on the skirmishers whenever they even touch them, making it very difficult to play. Hero is getting constantly housed, having to invest now into second lumber camp, trying to expand his economy. He is fighting the game of his life here. 1 HP scout just shows up to try and dodge some arrows there. 4 scouts together with a lot of skirmishers, and Hera is being forced back. Honestly, this feels like Lucho is one fight away from winning this game, guys. He just need a good engage and Hera is down here. Damn, such a hard game. Well played by Lucho, huh? With his scout and skirmishers. There comes the scouts once again, trying to snipe off the skirmishers. Hera's trying to add more army. This doesn't look good for him for sure. Go back. Yes, isolated the units from the enemy, but all of his skirmishers are heavily injured and he's getting outmassed by the opponent. The fighting is coming back to his base, and honestly, that's everything you do not want to have when you are facing a Cuman player. So Lucho is doing such a good game here, guys. Not only that, but he has also clicked to the castle age. He went for this secondary gold, added up some palisades, and he is on the way to the castle age because he was able to drop early farms. So very good defense. He's also counter-attacking Hera. The game looks very bad for Hera. He might actually have to either force scouts, or I don't know what he's gonna do. He is not fully walled. He's still playing wide open here. No palisades to finish off the walls. He's only barely surviving with his army, now adding more stuff, and he's about to click after this view as well. So we are going to have a castle age game, and of course, despite not being able to boom, Cuman's doing a great early feudal age game. Here is going for a second stable. This already is a big indicator on how he wants to play on the castle age. He will probably open up some scouts to help counter the skirmishers, and he will transition into the camels. At least that's my expectation. Why Camels? Well, because they are cheaper as the Byzantine, and they do counter most of the units that the Cuman can do. They can counter all the other cavalry units, and well, Cuman has at least 4 of those available on their stable, such as the light cavalry, knights, camels, and steppe lancer. Lucho keeps advancing here with the skirmishers. He's upgrading the scale barding armor and ready to now add more Knights. And there we can see a skirmisher with Botkin arrow pressuring Hera, forcing their way on his economy. And Hera is now trying to go for a market, trying to get the heal. This surely doesn't look so good for him. There comes the spearman, they are out of position. He's trying to add camels and even add armor. Went now for a third stable. He won't be able to add a town center, guys. This would mean like certain death to him. He cannot even add a town center because he has no stone. He is in such a bad spot. Honestly, is he doing a no wall challenge or something? Because I cannot see a single palisade wall so far. That's weird. Anyway, Monastery showing up here for Hera now. He's about to drop more and more camels. He does spot the enemy cavalry. Well, he did spot the cavalry, so he has enough time to make a building. And, okay, with those two buildings here, with this quick wall... Oh my goodness, he deleted the quick wall way too soon. And the enemy cavalry now is trying to get his villagers, but there comes the camel. Just in time. Was that intentionally to force his opponent to commit to the fight? I don't know. Now he's going for the wheelbarrow. What is Lucho doing? Well, Lucho did complete his palisade wall here. He upgraded the elite skirmisher and has completed fully walls here around his base and is about to add university. So we do have a lot of camels here from Hera, together with some skirmishers against elite skirmishers for Lucho. I actually like the use of elite skirmishers a lot because they actually deal quite some decent damage to camels. Camels have no pierce armor, only the one that you can buy on the blacksmith, so they are actually an easy target. And now Lucho comes here to add a crossbowman upgrade and another archer range, so he does plan to invest into archers here. Hera comes for the investment on the secondary town center and is collecting relics, so we can see two economical things here to get Hera ahead of his opponent. A town center here on the stone, farming non-stop, and now starting to collect relics using the monks. And of course he is using all the Byzantine weapons here, the cheaper Camels together with the cheaper skirmishers. And the skirmishers just got all sniped out by elite skirmishers from his opponent that already have access to ballistics, and well, he can see with his unit that his opponent is about to drop crossbowmen. Now with a combination of crossbowmen, elite skirmisher, camels, knights. What an AI army Lucho is doing, right guys? With this AI army composition, he can actually pressure Hera because he has enough DPS to take down the camels. And that will force Hera to go for some other approach like the siege workshop in order to do either some scorpions or mangonels to at least help himself to deal against the ranged units. There comes some of the knights. Hera has already 2 relics on his monastery, bringing the third one. He has healed back his camels, so they are all in good health. And he is messing up a lot of stone. Does he plan to add like a castle somewhere? I don't know. And he's jumping in on the opponent. He's jumping in, guys. He just calculated the risks here and probably thought, okay, there are not yet enough archers to kill me. I think that I can probably get a good fight. And well, it feels like he's correct. He's actually being able to damage quite some units and force Lucho back there. Damn. With, yeah, 3 stable camels, guys. 3 stable camels is just repelling all the army from Cuman. And of course, those are 3 stable, cheaper camels from the Byzantine. And they do have +2 armor. So the upgrades have kicked in. On the 1v1, a camel will still prevail against a single crossbowman because of its natural HP. And now with the upgrades, and he just forced Lucho onto a bad fight, forcing Lucho to go back towards his town center and hides himself here closer to the town center and the towers. That just bought back Hera more map control. He's going out for the third town center. He's even collecting more relics. He forgot to deploy this relic, and no problem. And what's going on here? Oh, he still has some scouts. Okay. Lucho is now massing more and more crossbowmen. He can call Hera for a big fight. Hera has a mangonel well placed here on the hill, making it difficult for Lucho to advance. Hera's buying a lot of time, guys. I wonder what is the next step of his plan here. Honestly, if I were him, I would actually try to go for an elite skirmisher transition. But well, it feels like he's not into that plan. He might actually try to click to Imperial Age. Yeah, he might actually try to click to Imperial Age. That's crazy. There comes Lucho trying to snipe the Mango. He might be able to do so. Monk got a conversion. He's losing way too much Camels there to the Crossbowmen. They are now massed, which means that they can actually deal a very significant amount of damage to the Camels, and Hera just keeps booming. And yeah, there comes finally the Archer ranges. And honestly, I believe that the unit of choice will be the Elite Skirmisher, which are the natural counter from the Crossbowmen. By the way, guys, Cumans do have this approach here during the Castle Age, and Lucho is playing 1TC. He's playing all-in, guys. That's an all-in crossbowman. He might actually try to click to Imperial Age here to play with like Bracer crossbowman. That's crazy. Yeah, that's an all-in for Lucho. He's just went for like the crossbowman and is playing all-in. Drop at a castle, perhaps his plan is to gain map control and drop a forward castle to besiege Hera while on Imperial Age. Going past Imperial Age versus Byzantine looks a bit insane, to be honest. They do have very strong castles, and they can also reach a very reasonable Imperial Age timing because of the discounts they do get on their units, and that's exactly what is happening. Here is now going into the Skirmishers. He still has to get several upgrades for this unit to be a bit more relevant, but well, I think that it's just a matter of time. This castle is just botting himself safety to all the left side of the map, and then he's about to drop a secondary castle on the right side of the map, so he's actually going for the long run, and the long run looks pretty good for him. I don't think he needs any more unit than both Camels and Elite Skirmisher, which are already getting upgraded, receiving ballistics, receiving their armors, so this is probably going to be GG here in favor of Hera once he is on Imperial Age. And I say that because, well, Lucho's economy is a lot weaker. He only now added a secondary TC. He's about to reach Imperial Age with a forward castle, and he will have a good position to push, but there's a limit to how much he can upgrade his units. I mean, he's Cuman, so he doesn't even have Bracer, guys. I mean, he can do trebuchets, but there is not much he can do against the Byzantine. While Hera, well, he can scale his units pretty well. He can upgrade the Camels, he can upgrade the Skirmishers, which he's already doing here with Bracer, and oh! Got several Camels shot down here. And he's also counter-attacking by using a Mango now. He does see what his opponent is doing. He's adding now a trebuchet, probably to push from that hill. That makes sense. Lucho is trying to repel him by going massive crossbowman, but honestly, once you have the upgrades on the skirmishers, that won't be an option anymore. Now here is upgrading the skirmishers with chemistry, leather archer armor. He's only lacking the, what's the name of that? Ring archer armor, so yeah, that doesn't look so good. Monks healing up the army, besieging Lucho from the top of the hill. Lucho was about to besiege as well, but well, trying to go an all-in against Byzantine, you have to kill him on Castle Age, or else you are just gonna die to this army comp.